Hey, this is Bryan, and thanks for watching Kies Motorsports. If you like our videos, give us a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification, and check us out at KiesMotorsports.com. Welcome back to part 2 of our cooling refresh on this F80 M3. Today, we're going to show you how to install the CSF front mount heat exchanger. If you missed part 1, we installed a CSF charge cooler for this F80 M3. So if you're not sure how to do that, be sure to see the link above. That'll also show you how we got the car like this, how to remove the front bumper, and how to drain the coolant. So at this point, the car has no coolant in it at all. We have the front bumper removed and also some of the underbody plastic. So at this point, let's get started. So the first thing we need to do from here is we need to disconnect our little temperature sensor. And then what you need to do is you need to remove these 13mm bolts. There's 2 on this side and 2 on the other side. Once those are released, you'll be able to pull off the crash bar. All right, so what's going to happen is once you get everything loose, this is going to fall off from the bottom. Then you can take your nut and bolt. Now these are super long. Now on this one, when you push it up, if you go straight up, you're going to hit the headlight. But if you just carefully maneuver it around, you don't need to remove the headlights. On this side, what we'll do is we'll remove that side. And this one's a little bit tighter, but what you can do is you pop out the other side of the crash bar and you can slightly maneuver it. And then what that'll allow you to do is you start to pull this out. It'll allow you to just miss the headlight by about 3 sheets of paper. Then what you can do is just get the crash bar, just carefully pull it straight off the car. I love how on M cars it's like, boom, F8X, M. There's these gigantic M's all over the car. All right, so now what we need to do is we need to remove this lower shroud. So on the side, there are these little clips over here. And then back here behind the air duct, you need to release this right there. And then there's one other clip right here, and there's one up there. That one looks like it's already released. So then what we can do is we can release those on the other side here. Okay, there's that one. And we'll release this. Okay, and this will come out just like that. Now what we need to do is we need to remove this front brace right here. So this is held in by about 6 T45, so very carefully remove all of those. And then the last 2 bolts are from above. Just be very careful with the carbon support brace. All right, this time the support brace is loose. What we can do now is just very carefully rock it down. Be careful that it doesn't hit your radiator because you don't want to accidentally poke a hole in there. But there's plenty of room to where you shouldn't come in contact with it. Now what we need to do is we need to remove these side pieces here. So it's gonna be kind of tough to show, but there's this little plastic piece inside. Just very carefully lift it up, just like that. And just pull that out and set it to the side. And then do that exact same thing on the other side. All right, and there's our second one. So one of the cool things about the CSF heat exchanger is it uses the factory BMW connection. So just like we did before, just get this clip and pull it down like that. And it's always a good idea to have a container ready to catch some spare coolant. And then on this other one, it's gonna be hard to see, we'll just pull this one up. And you very carefully just pull that off. And again, we already have the coolant drained, so you shouldn't have any drainage. We'll do the same on the bottom. And there's a little clip up here. You just take a flathead screwdriver or a pick tool and release it. And that'll come down. Now you may have some coolant left over in here, so just be aware and have a container ready. All right, now what we're going to do is we are going to install the new CSF heat exchanger. Be very careful when feeding this up. You won't accidentally hit anything. So the trick is to get the bottom right side in, and you're rocking the top. And what that'll do is that'll line up everything else. So now what I'm going to do is press the bottom in, just like that. That'll snap into place. Now we have the top snapped into place. And what you can do is just get your top connection, line that up, clip that on. Once you hear the clip, you know it's secure. We have our other one over here. Clip that on, and we're good to go. Now what we're going to do is we are going to install the protective screen. It's going to protect our heat exchanger. This is a must-have, especially if you're going to track your car. And it's held in by these 4 10mm bolts. All right, so now what we can do is we can reconnect our coolant line that was connected to the auxiliary water pump. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we are going to remove the fill bolt from the top corner. We're going to set that to the side, and then we're going to stick a funnel in here, and we're going to fill the radiator with a 50-50 mix of distilled water and BMW coolant. Now you'll know that your heat exchanger is full of coolant once coolant starts coming out of the drain hole. Now what we can do is we can reinstall our shrouding. Now what we're going to do is we're going to install our front brace. So just very carefully guide this up here and slide this into place like this. Now when you're doing this, you want to make sure that you have these side pieces of plastic installed first. You don't want to forget about that. Then what you can do is you can secure all of these T45s, and we'll have the torque spec in the description below. All right, now what we can do is reinstall this lower shrouding here. At this point, everything is pretty much back together. We still have some work to do, so we're going to leave the bumper off. But now what we want to do is we want to fill our coolant reservoir up with a 50-50 blend of BMW coolant and also distilled water. At this point, we have topped off the coolant, but we still need to bleed the system. Now, when you do a heat exchanger and also a charge cooler, a lot of times you're gonna have to do this 2 to 3 times to make sure that all of the air is out of the system. The first part of the process is to hook up a battery charger, because we're going to be doing this process in accessory mode and you don't want your battery to die while we're doing it. So what we're going to do is, now that we're in the car, we're gonna put it in accessory mode. So just hit that start-stop button just one time. Then what you're gonna do is you're gonna put your low beams on. Then what you wanna do is turn the climate control as hot as it can possibly go, but put it on the lowest fan speed. Then press the accelerator down for about 6 to 10 seconds, and what's going to happen is it's going to activate your water pump. Now this process takes about 11 minutes to complete. You'll hear it when it actually kicks on, and then you'll be able to hear when it shuts off. So once it shuts off, what you wanna do, you wanna check your coolant level again, top it off if needed, and then run the process again. Now while this is doing this, it's a good time to also check all of your connections and make sure that there's no leaks. And if you haven't done so already, you can start to reassemble your car. So we haven't put the crash bar on yet, so at this time, we're gonna take care of that. And if you haven't done so yet, it's a really good idea to reconnect that connection right there. At this part of the process, the coolant system is completely bled, the heat exchanger is fully installed, and so is the charge cooler. So be sure to stay tuned for part 3, because we have a DCT cooler and maybe a couple other projects coming for you. So we're gonna leave the bumper off and some of these components apart, but if this job is done for you, be sure to fully reassemble your car. Once again, this is Brian. Thanks so much for watching Kies Motorsports. If you like our videos, give us a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification, and check us out at KiesMotorsports.com. If you are interested in any of the parts that we described today, be sure to see the links in the description. We also have them available at KiesMotorsports.com. Once again, my name is Brian. Thanks for watching and have a great day.